Good evening. My name is Garcia, and I'm doing the video lab portion for the skeletal the axial and appendicular skeleton system. So, all right, here's my model. Oh, today is February 9th, 2018, Friday. So let's begin with the axial skeleton, starting with the anterior skull. So we'll go first with the nasal bone. That is right here. This part right here. Second is the ethmoid bone, which is pretty much inside the eye socket, right in this area right here. Next is the lacrimal. So with the skin and muscle, that would pretty much be your tear ducts, lacrimal ducts, the lacrimal bone. Next is the mandible, better known as the jaw muscle or jawbone. Now after that is a vomer, which is pretty much the middle part, right here, middle part of the nasal cavity, right there. After that is maxilla, which is pretty much the upper jaw bone. That's the maxilla. The zygomatic is right here. It's the cheekbone. And sphenoid. Sphenoid you can see from the inside of the eye socket and to the side. That would be sphenoid. Okay, so that it is the anterior skull portion. Next is the posterior skull, and it would be the temporal. Oh, let me turn this guy around. Sorry about that. Posterior. It would be the. Oh, he doesn't want to stay still. Okay, so temporal is like right here, your temple, hence temporal bone. Occipital, pretty much the back area right here. Parietal is this area, and the mandible is the back shot of the jaw, and that is the posterior skull side. Now let's turn this guy around to the side, which will be the lateral portion of the skull. Let's start with the frontal bone, which self-explanatory, front forehead. Now ethmoid, which is, like I said, you can get it from right here, this area, to the side right there. That would be the ethmoid. Nasal, I don't know why you want to show nasal on the lateral, but okay, nasal bone right there. Lacrimal, same area with the ducts, tear ducts. Oh, drop my pointer, hold on. Next is zygomatic, cheek, mandible, jaw, maxilla, upper jaw, occipital, lower back portion, temporal, where the temple is, and parietal, which would be this area right here. Okay, moving right along into the inferior of the skull. So this is gonna be tricky. So I'm gonna have to put my model down. And it fell. Okay, well, at least the skull is exposed to do the inferior wall. Okay, so let's start with the parietal. So it'll be towards the back portion right here. This is the skull facing me. Parietal. Occipital will be this area right here. Okay? Temporal will be the side. Sphenoid is right in this area right here. And then the ethmoid right there. And of course, the frontal. So that would be the inferior skull portion. Now, going to the vertebral column. All right, let me stand this guy back up. Sorry, only got one hand. Just face him away from me, towards the wall. Okay, so let's start with the atlas. The atlas is pretty much this bone right here. So this is the back of the skeleton. So this one, atlas, and then the axis will be right here. Okay, so atlas, axis right there. So the first 7 vertebrae would be the cervical. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cervical. And after that would be thoracic. So thoracic is the next 12 vertebrae up to here. Pretty much where the ribs end. So these are the floating ribs. We'll get to that later. And lumbar vertebrae start after the foreribs, the last 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. And then it will be the sacrum and the coccyx, tailbone. That is the vertebral column. Next is the thoracic cage. So let's turn this guy around. Oh, jaw got dislocated. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Okay. Fix him back. Next would be thoracic cage. So the manubrium of the sternum will be this area right here. Will be this area. Next would be the true ribs. True ribs is the first 7 pairs of the first 7 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be the true ribs. After that, pairs 8 through 10 is the false ribs, 8 through 10. Then pairs 11 and 12 are floating. And you can see why they call it floating, because it's not really attached to your sternum. It's just floating. Hence, the floating ribs. Next, we're doing the pectoral girdle and upper limbs. So let's start off with the pectoral girdle, which consists of clavicle and scapula, which is collarbone, shoulder blade. Next is humerus, biceps, where your bicep muscles would be, humerus. Radius is this part right here. It's the part that turns over. So this one right here is facing with the palms facing us, anatomical position. So when it turns the hand over, see the radius turns over. So this is the ulna radius. And next would be the hand and wrist. So this hand is the backhand. Let's go ahead and start with the lunate. This is the lunate area. The triquetrum would be, this is this part right here. That part. Next would be the hamate. This would be the ring finger, metatarsal bone, carpal area, right there. And then the captite. Captite would be right there, about the middle finger. It's all the carpals. And then the trapezoid would be this area, and the scaphoid would be right about right about there. Oh, right there. Okay. And For the physiform, this is the palm of the hand now. Similar like the end palm right there. So this is the palm, this is the back of the hand. Palm. Physiform, right there. And metacarpals. Metacarpals is the first set of carpals, this right here. So this area, these are the bones. And then phalanges is from the first digit, rest down. Phalanges. All right. Next now is the pelvic. Uh-oh. Let me flip my page here. It is the pelvic pelvic girdle and lower limbs. All right, so we start with the pelvic girdle, which consists of three main parts. Three main parts is the ilium, this area, the ischium, and the pubis, a pubic bone, right there. See, in correlation to where it's at. And then as far as the limbs of the lower limbs of the human body, sorry, tired, getting off a cold. So this is the femur, long bones, which are long bones. This is the patella, better known as kneecaps. Pretty much just like protects the knee joint. Then you have tibia. This is the bigger portion, which is, I guess, the version of the ulna with the legs. And this would be a lower version, the fibula, lower version of the radius, I guess, or seems like it. All right, now moving on to the last part. Oh, gosh, it is the ankle and foot. So let's start with the media cuneiform. It would be this area right there. Next is the intermediate cuneiform. This would be this area right here, this bone. Lateral cuneiform, right here. Okay, and the navicular is this part right here. This set of bone area right there, and the cuboid is just below that, right around this area. And then the thallus is right above the cuboid, and this bone right here. And just like the hands, there's carpals, and then with the feet is tarsals. So this first set is the metatarsals, and the last digits from here down are the phalanges. And I think that's it. Well, thank you for your time. Sorry, it was kind of crazy with just one hand and showing the different parts of the bones and the body. And sorry, thank you for getting through with me. Good night. Thank you.